Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Canadian Football Podcast. I'm your host, Matty P.
I'm your co-host, C-Money.
And we are coming at you with another episode.
Live
from the basement.
Sweet.
How are you doing today, buddy?
Not too bad yourself?
I'm doing good. A nice night in Winnipeg.
Yeah, beautiful weather outside. We got Blue Bomber football game action going on, hoping to redeem themselves after their loss last week to one of the worst teams in the league.
The Edmonton Elks, they have the longest standing home loss record.
Yeah, that's a bad record to hold. That is for sure.
But the game is in Winnipeg, and that's why I mentioned it. It's a high of 25. The sun's out, the gun's out. Oh, let's go.
That's what Jordan Addison said yesterday.
And for this news segment, Jordan Addison pulled over and cited for going how fast?
140 and a 55.
In a Lambo
Urus.
Don't players know that speed fucking kills already?
I think they should have learned that lesson from Mr. Henry Ruggs himself. He should have a phone call with Mr. Ruggs.
And he's currently not even playing, right?
Oh, he's in jail. Yeah.
R.I.P. to that family. Oh man,
he's done in his NFL life.
I feel like Minnesota runs into like bad off-season PR. What do you think about this?
They're kind of notorious for it over the grand scheme of things, but recently they actually have been pretty good over the past couple seasons. But typically in an off season, some Viking ends up getting in trouble somewhere. The Spielman regime previously had kind of gotten that under control by trying to really evaluate a player off the field and taking that into account when making draft picks. And it helped to an extent, but the new regime, different ways of grading players and evaluating, and first round pick goes and does something like this. Not a good look.
Yeah, I hate to see these 20 and 21-year-olds coming into the league all hot-headed, all egotistical already, signing those those $1 million contracts and just getting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about Addison. I feel like his attitude is not what it needs to be. It feels like he's already getting that wide receiver diva attitude.
It's a thing.
It definitely is. It absolutely is.
And you don't really see it among running backs. Almost like the running backs are disgruntled, right?
Yeah, right now, yeah, they are.
But yeah, all these wide receivers making like 20 mil, 25, up to 30 mil, and then millionaires right off the get-go, first round talent, right? But these running backs are just kind of getting like left on the shelf, basically.
Yeah, that's more recent though. Like wide receivers never used to get the big bucks like they do now. All of a sudden, Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams really raised the bar, and now it's like every good receiver is just getting paid big time, and running back value is just being diminished, and it's almost like the owners or GMs, whoever, have gotten together and decided like, okay, we're not going to pay running backs this much anymore because this is going to we can't tie up guaranteed money into a position that has a high risk of injury, so we're only going to give them 1-year contracts. Deal. Let's nobody pay these guys long term. And that's what they're doing. Like, there's some good names still sitting there. Old names though.
Yes, and that brings us to our next segment, running back holdouts.
Yeah, both Saquon and Josh Jacobs holding out for the cash. Both of them get slapped with the tag. Tony Pollard as well. Tony Pollard's already signed his, so he's in for the 1 year at whatever it was, $10 million-ish. I don't know how they're going to be able to afford to feed their families for that kind of money, but I guess they'll have to make it work.
Yeah, Pollard signed his, right?
Yeah, Pollard's in already, but Saquon and Jacobs are both still holding out. They both want long-term guaranteed, or with more guaranteed money, obviously. But it's only their second contracts. I don't see why these teams don't give them 2 or 3 year deals. Like that's not that much. Like they'd still be only like 28-ish when those contracts would end, 27, 28, if they did that.
And last week, Joe Mixon restructured his deal, so he's ready to go.
Right. I have a feeling he did that because Cincinnati probably said, okay, look at the market right now. We could go sign Dalvin Cook, who's better than you, and get him for less than what you're making if we just cut you today. So either take a pay cut and we'll keep you, or we'll release you and go sign Dalvin or Zeke or Fournette or Hunt, any one of those guys. I mean, Hunt would be a downgrade from Mixon probably, but and Zeke as well. But Dalvin and Fournette I think would be better, but Fournette would be probably on par.
Yeah, Dalvin got surgery again on his shoulder. He says it's fixed, so he's trying to get the most money I'm sure that he can. But how long will he go with this? Right? You kind of want to play. You kind of do want to get paid as well.
Yeah, there's some speculation too with Dalvin during the offseason that he might have gotten that surgery because he had a $2 million offseason bonus that came in sometime in March. And if he was still on the roster, he would have got that $2 million. And if he elects to get surgery, the team is not allowed to cut him while he's recovering from surgery. So he got the surgery, thereby assuring himself that he would get that $2 million in the offseason.
Very smart, very smart. Yeah. And yes, you got Leonard Fournette, a quality back. I don't know if Tampa's in talks with him right now, but they do have Rashad White there, and they did draft Sean Tucker in this latest draft. So, and yeah, you got Kareem Hunt, who's known for kicking as well.
Yeah, and Zeke. I mean, Zeke has pretty much lost most of his steam, but he is still a goal line back if somebody needs a bigger back to power runs in close to the end zone.
Also, Zach Martin for the Dallas Cowboys is holding out. He's making $1.7 million this year, and he's making about $7 million or so and change, less than the top guy at his position. So,
yeah, that's
Jerry Jones is gonna have to figure that one out soon.
Yeah, that's for that quality of a player, that's a pretty big dip. He definitely deserves more. That's kind of like Danielle Hunter's situation, probably. I don't know the Dallas contract situations, but Danielle, they gave him a signing bonus last year to boost his pay to get him to play this past season, and the idea was they're front loading it so that next year, being this year, he would now be playing for only $5 million, which is obviously way underpaid for his position and the level of play that he provides. So with that, he wants more money, and so he's either demanding a trade or a longer term extension. He wants another extension. He is still fairly young, but they don't want to give him like a 4 or 5 year deal. They'd more likely want to give him a 1 or a 2 year deal. But he wants big money. One more big contract is basically what he's looking for. And so if the Vikings don't want to provide that, he'd like to get it from somebody who would. So they're kind of at a standstill right now.
Yeah, it's so hard to draft right now. Like if you're waiting to draft like a startup league or a redraft league, there's so many like pieces that are on the sidelines that could alter your team or someone's team in your league like pretty tremendously.
Oh yeah, big time. These running backs, if they pop up on certain teams, Ramondre Stevenson would lose major value if Dalvin went to to New England, or alternatively in Miami, Mostert, Wilson, A-Chain would all lose big time value if Dalvin went there, but they probably would use more of a committee, but still, it just would cut into any of those backs' value big time.
One free agent did come off the board recently. D-Hop was signed by the Titans.
Yeah, great for the Titans. And Ryan Tannehill, if you're a Tannehill holder, Mr. Robin Kimball. I unfortunately am a DeAndre Hopkins holder, and so going to a run-heavy offense kind of disappointed me. I was hoping for a Chiefs or Bills landing spot, but the plus side with this is that there isn't really anyone in that Titans offense that's going to command targets above him. Treylon Burks the closest thing, but still he needs to break out yet, and he still hasn't proven anything that he can earn a big target share, and D-Hop should dominate in that area this season.
Yeah, and as far as a football standpoint, having Burks learn from the guy with like probably the best mitts in the game currently, can't be a bad thing.
It's hard to learn to have triple XL hands, though.
Hey, if Burks got rid of his breathing problems from last year, remember, like all throughout camp, he was having trouble.
Yeah, some asthma stuff or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe after his rookie season, he can kind of like regain the steam or some of the hype that he had.
Yeah, I don't know. He was kind of a designed plays designed for him catcher, so it wasn't. He didn't necessarily earn his targets in college by breaking open on his own. It was more designed plays and then run after catch. So, in the NFL, he still has to kind of prove that he can earn those targets by getting open without the plays being designed for him.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting situation in the AFC South. You got one team, it's got a rookie quarterback handing the keys. You got the Titans kind of probably go back and forth between a couple quarterbacks, I imagine.
You think the Titans are going to go back and forth? I think they're just going to ride Tannehill until unless they are totally out of it, or if he gets hurt.
The thing with Tannehill is, like, there are some games where you just completely get frustrated with him, and you're going to have to turn to, you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to give, maybe Malik Willis another chance.
You think Malik Willis or Will Levis?
That's why I said quarterbacks, because right now I don't know who is even better. Willis looked horrible last year. He did.
Yeah, he looked absolutely
but also
awful,
like I felt like the OC wasn't really designing the best game plan for him, and he was very unpolished. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they had injuries to their O-line, and then they had like no NFL level receivers other than maybe Treylon Burks, but he's a rookie and still learning. So that was a tough spot for everyone on that offense, and Henry had to just carry the load, which he can do. But
who's gonna win this division, the AFC South there?
I originally have been thinking Jaguars all offseason, but now with this trade for DeAndre Hopkins, I'm kind of thinking maybe the Titans are the front runners. It should be those two teams are definitely the two that are going to be battling for it. Colts are still rebuilding.
I'm leaning Jags. I had the Colts to win that division last year, and they just disappointed. I don't even want to talk about that. But I'm leaning towards Jags winning that division. But yes, I know you can make a case for the Titans, and you never know with Houston, with all the players that left and all the players that are coming in. You just never know.
They do have. It is a big turnover there in Houston. They should be an interesting team this season.
They do have some players I like. I like Dameon Pierce. I like the quarterback coming in. I like Dalton Schultz. Nico Collins, does he take a step forward?
Yeah, that's what the big thing is. If CJ Stroud can come in there and perform, like be as accurate as he was at Ohio State and as look as good as he did in all the like off-season stuff, he does look like a good potential quarterback. And if he comes in there and plays well, that would go a long way to helping that team turn around.
Who's the coach for the Jags again?
D'Amico Ryans?
No.
Yeah.
The Jags.
Oh, the Jags. Peterson.
Right, Peterson from Philly.
Right.
Yes. I like. So
He's a good
coach. This will be his third year with.
Nope, second.
Second season with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, right.
So I think we can. I still think like TL is still ascending, and now they have Ridley, and now they drafted some offensive talent as
Take
well.
Bigsby at running back, but
Right.
I mean Etienne is still the guy there.
But I'm just saying, more weapons.
Yeah,
for TL.
right. Yeah.
And another year.
Yeah.
Under.
Trevor
Peterson's
Lawrence.
watch.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence looks like he should be taking another step forward as a very highly touted prospect. He looked. I mean, you can pretty much wipe away that year with Urban Meyer, and then almost count like last year was his rookie year because the Jags were just such a disaster that first year. So, this past season he did start to look like he has a chance to be what everyone thought he might become. So that's exciting.
Yeah. So I'm leaning Jags. So if you followed the podcast last year, I designed an eight game or 8-bet parlay. Excuse me, with all the division winners. So I'm leaning towards the Jags this year, Buffalo Bills again, Cincinnati Bengals again, the Chiefs again, leaning towards Minnesota again, kind of going back and forth between Minnesota Vikings and Detroit. The NFC South is a little tough. Do you go to the Saints? Do you go with the ATL, who's ascending? They just drafted Bijan and some other talent.
Yeah, that offense should be, as long as Ritter can perform. That's the big question mark there in Atlanta because they've got stud receiver, stud tight end, stud running back, 2 good running backs. So now, and the offensive line is apparently grades out fairly well. So if the quarterback can play.
Yeah. I think PFF graded the O-line in ATL as 5th or 7th. Right around there.
Fairly high up. Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but top 10.
Yep. And then I keep going back and forth between Seattle and San Francisco. Kind of leaning towards San Francisco, but
Seattle.
I feel like the Cinderella is Seattle just taking one more step, and they added two nice offensive weapons with JSN and Charbonnet.
I feel like Seattle is ascending, and San Francisco has like they are a very good team. They're well coached, but they have question marks about injuries at like all their star players, like Brock Purdy coming back from injury. Trey Lance, is he even good? CMC seems to get hurt almost every year, except last year he made it through the season, but that's like the one-off in the last 3 or 4 years. Elijah Mitchell always gets hurt. Debo Samuel, George Kittle, like all those guys miss time every season. And it's like, okay, San Francisco plays a hard style of football. Maybe these guys, especially like Kittle, or maybe like these running backs too, like injuries can compound over year over year, and sometimes guys won't perform to the same levels that they used to anymore. And so that's why I kind of look at Seattle as maybe we're overrating San Francisco. San Francisco's defense is also very good, so that's the other thing. But Seattle's is improving.
Yeah, if you follow the podcast, I'm a big fan right now of Zach Charbonnet, the rookie running back that Seattle took, and they got.
Yeah, I mean they still have Ken Walker. I mean, he looked great.
Yes. I just mean as a complementary piece to help propel that team forward, right?
Right. Two young stud skill position players.
Pete loves the 2 running backs.
Yeah, and then he's got JSN, the rookie stud wide receiver, top rookie wide receiver prospect.
So I'm going back and forth between Seattle and San Francisco right now on that. But yes, I'm slowly designing, my big $100,000 payout if all of this shit comes through. Last year, I think it went 5 for 8. So not good enough. We're going to try it again. And who do you guys got winning, the NFC North? Are you on
Or
Detroit?
any of them.
Are you on Detroit? Are you on Minnesota doing it again? Let us know in the comments,
I think Minnesota's going to be a better team this year than they were last year. But I don't think they're going to have as many wins because they have a tough schedule. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a battle. I think Detroit and Minnesota are going to be the two battling for the title. And I think Chicago is going to be tougher than they were last year. But I still don't think that they're going to be fully improved yet and hold much weight in the division. And then the Packers, I think, are going to see the first year of Jordan Love. It's hard to project them. I mean, if Jordan Love is good, I think they should fare well and be right in the hunt as well with Detroit and Minnesota. But if he's even, cost them a few games, it might be too much for them to overcome overall.
Yeah, I really like the Packers schedule. I think it's like the third most favorable. I was looking at it. I have some shares of Jordan Love here and there throughout some leagues. So I was looking at that schedule and me likey. So I'm also building the case, that the Green Bay surprises, or they're at least sticking around and making it very interesting down the stretch.
They do have two good backs, and if they can run the ball well and kind of help use the run game to protect Jordan Love a bit, that should help.
And from what I hear, like Jordan Love in the locker room, he's getting along with guys, and a lot of good things are coming out of there. So that's always a plus,
Yeah, team chemistry is important for sure.
It is his team now. So actually, the Packers did draft an undrafted quarterback. I think he won the USFL MVP, I believe, McGow. So shout out to McGow, who will probably be battling for that backup QB role.
Yeah, that's deeper than anything I know about the Packer QB situation. I only know the top level, and that's Love.
Now you learn something, Miller.
Learn something new every day.
About your rival team. Our rival team. Are you going to go to any Minnesota games this year?
I'd like to. I'd like to go to see the Chiefs game, but that's going to be an expensive ticket. I don't know. It's timing might not work for me either. We'll have to see about that one. Possibly later in the season, though, I might try and sneak down for one.
All right. Well, shall we call it an episode?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Be excellent to each other.
Do as to you. Blah, blah, blah. We'll see you guys very soon with another episode of the Two Canadian Football Podcast.